And I wish that what I'm doing right now, when I was in your position, that somebody was here in front of me to tell me, all right, Jesse, you gotta take these steps, or you gotta think about these things to get where you wanna be. And a lot of times when I look back, I was 16, I graduated high school. I wanted to be part of the Spec Ops. I always wanted to be in the military, so I did that. And then eventually I realized when I was in there, that's not it. And I did everything I could to pursue my career. Creativity is acting for me. And that got me now into a big movie, which I'm going back to Amsterdam for soon. And then after that, the Maldives. So I'm very excited for that. And that's why I'm now, here very, very honored to stand in front of you and be like, guys, never lose sight of your dreams and invest in it as much as you can. Because the best investment is always in yourself. And that goes for, being here at the university, but also after that or before that, when you wake up early, to know that you have a lot of time. You can create an own advantage for yourself and your own dreams. And we've got to start telling ourselves stories that are positive and walk off the negativity that's around us. Energy, it's your surroundings, sometimes even family, friends, that are people that are close to you, that you don't even realize in your own environment, people that make you believe that you can, or that you should be doing this. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? That's something that you should realize. And sometimes we need to be in a dark place to realize certain things. And I'm glad I did, because if I look back like 5 years ago, when I was studying at the university back in my country, I didn't have that clarity. Because often we talk about, we need motivation, we need inspiration. That's all cool. But what it really comes down to is having clarity. We're often missing clarity of what we're really doing, what we really want. Because I can speak here now, I can give you all this motivation and you get hyped up. But what is that gonna do for you? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because tomorrow you're gonna wake up, you're gonna do the same thing. Make yourself vulnerable, create a vulnerable position for yourself. And this is a highlighted version of myself. On Instagram, pretty much a lot of influencers, do that. So we gotta be open about that. But I am traveling, I am at these places, I am doing this, and it is possible. But also be open, because what you see now, when you build your personal brand, people appreciate you being open, or being real, being authentic, instead of only trying to show off. And that's why a lot of times when you read my blogs or go to my website, you will see that I open up about these things. Yesterday I talked about the traveling and stressors and everything that's coming at me, because also running 2 businesses at the side, having employees, and it's a lot. But it's all possible. And I encourage anyone to do what you believe in. And I'm really curious to hear from you. Like, is there anyone here right now that has a certain creative dream or wants to pursue that? I would love to know. Or maybe someone is already doing it.
I've always done like the performing arts all my life.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I've always done acting and singing and stuff. But right now I'm here for a business degree. But I still love to do that on the side and see where that goes. I'm just scared to like depend on that as a study.
Love that. So you have a creative passion, which is acting.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you want to do your business degree. Basically, what I did, right? I started my psychology degree. I was a freshman, and I knew, and at this point, I can't rely on just acting. So that's a lot of, a big problem a lot of actors or actresses deal with. So this is great. You know what I mean? You have your vision, and the fact that you do that to the side will ultimately get you small roles, right? Because that's, if you look at my IMDb profile, you see a lot of small roles. But now, I think 5-6 years later, it landed me a big role. And that's where you're headed. Building up the portfolio, you're all still very young. I'm 26 myself. How old are you guys? What's average?
18.
18. So you have time. You have an advantage that a lot of people don't realize, and that's the biggest value. You know what I mean? Like, you can literally do anything you want. And when you're 30, you still can do it. You can twist everything to be like, you know what, I'm gonna do that. Again, when I was 18, I was like, I was in Spec Ops, and when that was my life, that was what I wanted to do. And then I realized, that's not me. You know what I mean? Someone telling me what to do. I want to be creative, I want to live life, I want to travel, and I want to tell my story, and do that. So it's great, love that. And keep doing that, and continue to have clarity about that. Ask yourself questions. Am I still doing what is necessary to get there? And then you will achieve what you want. Love it. Anyone else that is creative?
Well, I want to be a web developer, but along with having, like, say, a regular 9-to-5 job, I want to help out people that want to promote their own business, or like just starting their own business, or just trying to support a good cause, and create websites for them, help them promote their brand through online websites, and then maybe as like a little side hustle, even though I'm gonna focus mainly on web development, I could do like app development. So if people want to promote their businesses through app development, they could do that as well, and I can help them with that, since I want to learn that as well.
That is awesome. Yeah, and there's so much more to do that, because I hear you speaking about, like, hey, we should connect. You know what I mean? So that's great. I think that, that's the future, and you guys, even more so than I do, because I'm already 26. But like, I started in this whole internet game later, and now, like, when I grew up, this app development and e-commerce became huge. Now I'm in a Shopify store, and like I'm running Facebook ads. But awesome, love that. And like, so you're doing, what study do you do on this?
So I'm majoring in computer science,
nice.
But as the semesters go on, I'm going to mainly focus it on web development, and then just minor in different courses that help me with the app development. And on the side also, like at home, I'm gonna be doing different courses, just practicing on my own. Like, I've been practicing like programming since I was since my first year of high school. So I already have a background in that, but I'm just gonna strengthen that background, strengthen my portfolio, so that when I graduate, I can have a stable income, a steady job, and also I could then start that side hustle, or I could just start that side hustle now.
Exactly, and that's great that you say that, because as long as you can pay your bills, as long as you know what I mean, because we need money to, like, pay the basic things. But like, honestly, when I made 6 figures, I think I was as happy as I made like 2K a month, like just trying to pay my bills, getting by, because I had so much time because of my part-time job that I could build like my own portfolio, my own side hustles, and that's, especially in this time, is so important. Because if you're just gonna do 9 to 5 and you have a creative dream aside from that, you're gonna lose a lot of time, and especially this is your prime time, so you gotta use it to your advantage. But I love that. That's great. And use personal branding, especially with whatever you're doing, whether you're a photographer, filmmaker, actress, app developer, put that out there. For me, it's a lot of pictures of myself, and you gotta ask yourself, what do your followers want to see? Like, this is the content that my followers want to see. Like, I know my audience, I know it's not just gonna be pictures, it's also gonna be something with a message. So they just wanna, like, look at me. But the fact is, I monetize this. So I can't just be posting pictures of buildings or how beautiful New York is, because 70%, actually 80% of my following is women between 24 and 35. So understand your audience and what they are following you for. And they want to see these kind of pictures. So it's not trying to, like, look at me, because there's an underlying message. Also, if you look at the captions. And ask yourself, interact. Ask yourself questions like, what do I want to see? What kind of content do they want? Understand the market. And if you understand the market and you bring value, you will get it back a lot more. And I heard you say, like, good causes. 50% of all our revenue goes to good causes. Why? Because by giving back, you get 10 times more back. In happiness, and happiness is always the biggest ROI. And that's so important to me. And you know, is there anyone else that has a creative side or hustle that they're pursuing?
I kind of want to start making my own clothes. I've kind of had this like just idea in the back of my head for like a while now. I think over like the next year, I kind of want to start like just committing to that.
That's awesome. What kind of clothes?
Just like regularly like just designs, heat press.
Yeah.
That's what I've been just looking into it and just trying to start maybe a brand. It's so cool.
Yeah. But like you were saying, maybe.
Yeah.
You're not quite sure clarity, right? When I said clarity.
I'll see how it
goes.
goes.
Yeah.
I'll see how it goes.
So you gotta like work in clarity first, and then you can like get to the next level, which is building that and investing in that and creating a personal brand.